This isn't just the story of a prostitute in a doomed city. It's the story of what God sees when the world only sees shame, a woman marked by sin, yet chosen by incredible grace. When the walls of Jericho were destined to crumble and fall, her faith was the one thing that stood firm, a beacon of hope in a city facing destruction. This is the story of Rahab. We're going to dive into the life of a woman who was an outcast, living on the margins of society, but who dared to believe in a God she had only heard about. Her story shows us that it doesn't matter what your past looks like or what labels the world puts on you. What matters is the courage to have faith. This is the story of the woman who believed before she belonged. Join us as we uncover the powerful lesson of Rahab's faith. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. They called her unclean and worthy, a woman forgotten by the world. But in the shadows of a city doomed to fall, God saw someone the world refused to see. And through her faith, he would shake the very walls of a mighty fortress. This is the story of Rahab, the woman whose belief saved her family and changed the course of history. Jericho was the pride of Canaan, a city glittering with gold and wrapped in arrogance. Its markets overflowed, and its priests chanted to idols of stone. But beneath its golden walls lived a woman whose heart longed for something more, for a truth she couldn't find in the emptiness around her. From her window, Rahab would watch the sunrise, a quiet question in her heart. "There has to be more to life than this," she'd whisper, "more than gods who never hear." Her sister would laugh, telling her to be thankful for the business they had. But Rahab knew it was an empty thankfulness. Looking out, she saw cruelty and injustice, and something deep inside her began to stir. Soon, whispers of a different God rippled through Jericho's streets. Merchants returning from afar spoke of incredible things. The God of Israel, they said, he dried up the Red Sea. The entire Egyptian army drowned. The priests called it lies, mere magic to deceive the weak. But fear was taking root. Travelers spoke of an unstoppable army marching their way, led by a God who destroyed nations. Standing in the crowd, Rahab wondered, a God who parts seas, could he be real? And if he is, maybe he sees me too. The wind blew gently, carrying a promise she couldn't yet name. Fear even reached the palace. The king of Jericho paced, his confidence shaken. "The Israelites are camped just beyond the Jordan," he declared. "Their numbers grow each day." His advisor tried to reassure him, boasting of their strong walls, but the king knew better. "Walls crumble," he said. "Fear breaks men before stones do." He commanded his guards to watch every stranger, promising death to anyone who dared to harbor an Israelite. Unaware, Rahab swept her doorway, her life unknowingly hanging in the balance. That night, as Jericho's gates were locked shut, two weary men snuck through the dark alleys. They were Israelite spies, and the city guards had nearly caught them. Desperate for shelter, they spotted Rahab's inn, a house built right into the city wall. They knocked lightly. When Rahab opened the door, her eyes were cautious. "You're not from here," she stated simply. One of the men pleaded, "We mean no harm. We just need a place to rest for the night." Her eyes narrowed. "You're Israelites, aren't you?" A tense silence filled the air. Finally, the other spy answered, "Yes. We serve the living God, the God of Israel." At the sound of that name, Rahab's breath caught. It was the answer her heart had been searching for. "Then come in," she whispered, quickly. Moments later, a loud banging echoed through the house. "Open up!" A guard shouted. "The king's orders." Spies of Israel were seen entering your house. Rahab's heart pounded. The spies looked at her, their faces grim. "If they find us, we're all dead." She knew. But in that moment of terror, a strange calm settled over her. "Hide on the roof," she commanded, "under the flax stalks. Hurry!" She ran to the door, opened it just enough, and with a steady voice, told the guards, "Yes, some men came to me, but I didn't know where they were from. They left just before the gate closed. If you hurry, you can still catch them." The guards glared, then rushed off into the night. Trembling, Rahab shut the door and went to the roof. As she uncovered the spies, one of them asked in awe, "You risked your life for us. Why?" Her voice shook, but her words were certain. "Because I've heard of your God. How he parted the Red Sea and struck down mighty kings. Our hearts melted in fear, but I believe your God is the true God of heaven and earth." The spies looked at each other, humbled. "Your faith has saved you," one of them said. "Tie this scarlet cord in your window. When we attack, our army will see it, and your house will be spared. Gather your entire family inside, and you will all be safe." Rahab clutched the red cord, her hope now visible. "Then let this be my covenant with your God," she declared, tying the crimson cloth that glowed in the moonlight. The days that followed were filled with tension. Rahab gathered her family into her home, but they were terrified. "Rahab, you're trusting these strangers?" her father asked. "If the king finds out, we'll all be executed," her brother warned. But Rahab's faith was firm. "Their God never fails," she insisted. "If he can dry a sea, he can keep this house standing." Outside, a strange silence fell over the city, broken only by the distant, rhythmic marching of the Israelite army. For 6 days, they circled Jericho once and then left, a silent, unnerving display of power. The soldiers on the walls mocked them, calling them fools. But Rahab, watching from her window, knew better. No, she thought, they marched with purpose. On the 7th day, everything changed. The army marched again, but this time, they circled the city 7 times. Rahab clutched the red cord as the sound of trumpets grew louder and louder, joined by a great shout from the entire army. Her sister cried out in fear, "What are they doing?" Rahab held her tight. "They're obeying their God," she said. And then, it happened. A massive rumble shook the ground. Stones cracked. The mighty walls of Jericho, the pride of Canaan, began to tremble and then collapse into a heap of dust and ruin. Everything fell except one small house on the wall, where a scarlet cord fluttered in the breeze. Through the smoke and chaos, two familiar figures emerged, the spies she had saved. Rahab. They called out, "You kept your promise, and so did our God." Tears streamed down Rahab's face as she looked at the impossible sight around her. "I didn't save myself," she whispered. "He did." They led Rahab and her family out from the ruins, from a city of death into a new life. As Jericho burned behind them, the narrator's voice reminds us, when faith lives in the heart of the unlikely, miracles happen in the ruins of the impossible. In the camp of Israel, Rahab and her family stood before Joshua, the leader of the nation. He looked at her not with judgment, but with respect. "You showed faith when others feared," he said. "From now on, you will live among the people of God." Humbled, Rahab replied, "I will serve the Lord all my days." Years passed. The former prostitute from Jericho found a new beginning. We see her, now older, tending to a small vineyard, her life peaceful. A noble Israelite man named Salmon approaches her. "Your story of faith is known throughout Israel," he says. "I would be honored if you would share your life with me." From shame to honor, Rahab became a wife and a mother. In an incredible twist of grace, she became the mother of Boaz, who would be the great-grandfather of King David, placing her directly in the lineage of Jesus Christ. As she gazes at the stars, her heart is full. "He saw me when no one else did," she reflects. "And he changed my name from forgotten to chosen." No one is too broken for God to use. No past is too dark for his light to redeem. Faith doesn't require perfection, it only requires a surrendered heart. Just like Rahab. The Bible says, by faith Rahab the prostitute was not destroyed with those who were disobedient, because she had given a friendly welcome to the spies. Her story is a powerful reminder that with God, your past doesn't define your future. Thank you so much for joining us for the story of Rahab, a powerful testimony to unwavering faith. Her journey is a beautiful reminder that no one is beyond the reach of God's grace. And our past doesn't define our future in His eyes. He sees the heart. And He can transform any life for His glory. If this story of redemption and courage touched your heart, Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this message of hope. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more animated Bible stories designed to inspire and build your faith.